Okay, so the privatization bill was tabled in Parliament last session. It was a government bill sponsored therefore by the leader of majority. The Speaker referred to the bill to the Committee of Finance and National Planning, the committee which I chair. We undertook public participation. We received memoranda from various institutions, including INSPAC, PwC, Deloitte & Touche. There was also the Directorate of Government Investments and Debt Management from National Treasury. We received remarks from Kenya Revenue Authority and many other stakeholders on the bill. The report, we tabled the report to Parliament just, I think that was 3 weeks ago. And you realize what the media is, what most of the media houses is reporting is what was in the privatization bill. Because one of the things that we realize is that the privatization bill was taking away the power of approval of privatization from Parliament and just solely giving it to actually a cabinet secretary. But after public participation, what the Committee of Finance and National Planning did now in our report, an amendment that I consequently moved at the floor of the House during the third reading, was one, retaining the power of Parliament in approval of privatization programs. So what now will be required to do is once the decision is made on which institutions need to be privatized, the cabinet, not a cabinet secretary, again, the bill had a cabinet secretary, which meant that a single person would make a decision to privatize an institution. So we remove that power from it being a decision by one individual, cabinet secretary, to making it a cabinet decision. But now, after the cabinet makes that decision, they will have to forward to the National Assembly that privatization program to be approved by Parliament, not by Parliament, by the National Assembly. So that power has safely been safeguarded. And now we also put even very stringent penalties, including fines of 5 million shillings for individuals and 10 million shillings for entities if they fail to give the required information. Because what you've seen is like institutions when they realize they want to be they are on the privatization program, then they do not give full disclosure. They probably hide some assets or some liabilities, and so we have put very stringent measures to make sure that the officers and the institutions have to give full information for that privatization program. You will also notice that in the privatization, so what immediately happens now is that with now the acts. The President Act bill now becoming an act of Parliament is now we remove the issue of the President Commission and we will have now to recruit a privatization authority whose board members again may have put their qualifications, including that they need to have 10 years of experience and especially in financial management, just to make sure that the individuals who will be in charge of this privatization are actually competent and qualified Kenyans, so that we do not put the decision of privatization to individuals who may not have the required academic and professional expertise. On the institutions that are going to be privatized, the executive will now have to, the cabinet will have to forward to Parliament what you're calling the privatization program. So that is a program that you have the institutions to be privatized. And actually, by the signing of this act, any previous programs or institutions that were supposed to be privatized has now been revoked by this act of Parliament. And now Cabinet will have to do a new list of institutions to be privatized and forward them to Parliament for approval. So I would say that until that time there has been a Cabinet memo and a Cabinet decision on the institutions to be privatized, there is no any decision made yet on which institutions will be privatized. A Cabinet will have to have a Cabinet decision and forward that to Parliament for approval for that privatization to happen.
Maybe the due process of public participation.
Certainly, the bill went through the normal process of public participation. We advertise in dailies with the national circulation. We invite memoranda from the public. We actually held sittings several sittings in Nairobi. We had institutions, including East Park and all these institutions that gave their memoranda for during the public participation. And actually, they enriched the report. That's why you'll find there's a huge departure from the Privatisation bill as it came and what we tabled in Parliament, and consequently what was signed by His Excellency the President as now the Privatisation Act of 2020.